Xbox is finally listening. Back on October 26th of 2022, Microsoft said, hey, we are going to start updating the dashboard and we're going to roll out a new experience to alpha insiders over the next coming months. And the story from there pretty much goes that Microsoft shipped some updates, but the feedback was pretty bad. Every single time they would ship even the slightest of updates to say, hey, look, you guys are making this thing more crammed. We can't see the background. There's a lot of junk in here that we just don't want. You guys need to listen to us. And finally, the guys and gals, I should say, over at Xbox are listening as they announced late on Friday that they're going to be rolling things back. And I find this super interesting. This is the statement that they put out on their Xbox Insider blog. They said, we want to thank everyone who has participated in the multi-month home console experiments. Today, we are pausing the experiments to prepare for bigger updates that we will release soon. This means that Alpha and Alpha Skip Ahead Xbox insiders who were using the experimental version of Home will revert to the Xbox Home experience that you were originally using. Your previous customized settings and backgrounds from Home will revert to what they were prior in the experiments, and we will save your new Home settings. We heard from you. This is key. We heard from you that the changes to the top of the Home did not leave enough space for you to enjoy your backgrounds and that it felt crowded. We're working to balance the experience, accessibility, function, and the needs of our community and bring you a great refreshed home experience. Thank you for all the feedback you've shared. It is a key part of our process, and our team is working hard to incorporate it into the experience and get it to you to use. We're excited to share more details with you soon. So this is pretty significant. This is Microsoft honestly acknowledging that, hey, this just wasn't going to plan. It wasn't going well, and that people had a lot of opinions. Most of it's like, bro, I can't see anything on my dashboard. And so this is the current experience as we know it. So if you're not an Alpha Skip Ahead or Alpha user, you might be saying, Brad, this looks exactly the same. It is honestly very similar. Now, the key differences are the Halo Infinite cube or square on the far left on the current and non-new dashboard, if you will, is larger. It's actually taller, but in here it's all the same size, although they did make the icons larger. And as you can see, if you liked looking at your background, you're not going to be seeing it with this experience. And that has been the feedback that Microsoft has heard with literally every single time they pushed even the slightest update to the Alpha or Alpha Insider program. I've been using the updated dashboard. It's fine, but it's nothing like to anybody who picked up an Xbox One looks at this and be like, Brad, it's the same. Like, it really hasn't evolved. So that's why when you look at this statement and they say they're rolling everything back for a refreshed experience, I kind of get excited. Now, I don't think we're going to get Xbox Blades back, but I'm hoping that they're kind of taking a genuine step back and they're looking at how they're going to update this. And if it comes back looking exactly the same, well, then we'll let the air out of the whoopee cushion at that point, because I don't know what they're doing. Now, there's a couple other things like you go to, it's like, well, what experience is Microsoft going to? This has by far been the most popular screenshot. They get shared around every single time there is an update or it's Microsoft saying, what should it look like? And everyone's like, make it look like this. Now, this is from Bob Klobrel over on Twitter. He made this, I believe, back in around October 26 when they first started announcing the stuff, that this is the experience that people are hoping to see. Now, is Microsoft going to look at this and maybe take inspiration from it? We can only hope. We don't really know what Microsoft is doing, but I suspect that this is the type of design that most gamers are going to want to see. Now, I'm not sure Microsoft is going to go ahead and give up that much space because, granted, they want to put the Xbox Game Pass stuff. They want you to show what you're getting for your money, and if you aren't paying for Game Pass, they want to entice you even more with more things. Now, there is a space for an ad, that Xbox Elite core controller over there in the bottom right, but I think this is the experience that most people are hoping for. The other thing too that my fingers are super duper crossed for is when they say refreshed experience here, I hope that they are going to be using an HDR background, an HDR dashboard. That is so critical to improving the feeling of the dashboard. Now, people are going to say, Brad, you can't see HDR on a dashboard. It doesn't matter. It's a waste of resources. That is not why I want HDR. I don't care if the Halo Infinite or Madden or Fortnite little blocks are in HDR. That is not the point. The point is, if you have a non-HDR, if you have an HDR display, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. When you go from non-HDR to an HDR content, your whole screen, especially on like an LG OLED, turns completely black. So you have this thing, you click on Halo Infinite, your whole screen goes black, and then you get the little pop-out that says HDR now enabled, and then the whole thing comes back. And it would be nice if it was just a seamless experience. Microsoft has really been dragging their feet on bringing HDR to the dashboard. I can't imagine that there's some underlying technical reason. I mean, it did take them a while to get us a high-res version. I think that, is it truly 4K? I know that they upscaled it from 1080p, but to get us a high-resolution display took a long time. Either way, at least now we have a high-res display. HDR would put this thing over the top and give us the incredible space that we see here in this mock-up. Now, for people who are like myself in the current version, we're just going to get rolled back now. Microsoft said it makes it sound like this is something coming soon, and I say that not in quotes because Microsoft quite literally in the bottom says we're going to bring you even more details soon. I'm hoping that maybe we'll see this in the next couple weeks. Anybody who's been paying attention to this channel has heard me say time and time again, I wonder when this was coming, because I'd heard for multiple times that Microsoft was looking to overhaul the dashboard, but I wasn't quite clear on what that meant because they'd already announced they were going to do that. But now it sounds like they've really kind of gone back to potentially the drawing boards here, and they're going to make some significant updates from this design. So we will see. Now, one of the things that this doesn't do very well, it doesn't tie, this dashboard still has a lot of Windows 10 feeling to it. It even has a little bit of that live tile kind of style from the Windows 8 genre. It's definitely evolved from that. I'm not saying it's that Metro design language by any means, but they could be looking to make this thing look potentially more like Windows 11. I'm not quite sure they're going to go like a Windows 12 route because that hasn't been fully fleshed out, nor has Microsoft even announced it. But you could potentially see more rounding in the corners, more shadows in the correct places, and more transparency to kind of bring it into that fluent language that Microsoft has talked about for many, many years. But we will see. I'd be curious to know what you all want to see in an updated dashboard. Obviously, we want to see more of the background. I personally want to see a whole bunch of HDR. We'll see. Is Microsoft going to standardize this sort of UI across what they do with Windows and some of their other assets? I suspect that might be some of the motive, but we don't quite know how long Microsoft has been working on this. This feels odd, honestly, from somebody who's been watching Microsoft for so long, but it's a good thing. I think this is a very good thing for them to announce, hey, we're going to update the dashboard. We did some experiments. We're rolling it back. That's fine. The fact that they're acknowledging that they were headed down a direction that wasn't really making sense, that is big. That is good. That means they do actually listen to your feedback. So when you respond, it's primarily, I think, on Reddit and some of the comments on the forum posts where Microsoft reads, they do listen. So that is your good news if you're a fan of the dashboard. Now we just got to wait and see what they come back with. Hopefully it's not worse. I can't imagine that it's going to be worse. So as always, my friends, make sure to keep it subscribed here because the only BS on this channel is me.